Hey, so I have a lot of library books to return. I am backed up on reading, mostly because it's summer break and I have 3 kids. The struggle is real. So, over the course of this weekend, I'm going to try to finish these 3 books because these are the ones that I was trying to read back in June. I think all of them. I think I was trying to read this one back in May. Oh my god, it's been that long. God. Anyway, so let's go over these real quick. Parable of the Sower. If you know, you know. Ring Chow. Also, if you know, you know. And Post Colonial Love Poem. If you know, you know. All are amazing. I think, all of these from recommendations from some of the accounts that I follow on here. I believe Parable of the Sower I've had on my TBR since like last year or more, but I finally got it from my local library, and here we are. So anyway, I'm going to, do the things. So magic edits, and I will show you how this goes over this weekend. All right. All right. So today I started out at page 45. Let's see where I'm at. 125. So an even 80 pages. I still got a little bit to go. I'd say about a third of the way. No, maybe a little more than a third of the way. All right. So almost to a half. We're doing pretty good. Let's see how I keep going. All right. So it is just about 11 o'clock at night, and I am on chapter 17, which is page 203. So I'm going to call it a night. I did pretty good today for somebody who hasn't been reading as much as they'd like. So, good night. Hey, good morning. So, I didn't get to finish last night like I planned because I had too much to do yesterday. But if you can tell, I'm a little sunburned um, because I went swimming. So, I left off on page 231. So, I got about, I think, 30 pages in yesterday. Not as much as I wanted to, but I'm really close to being done. So, I should be done today. All right, so I finished book 1 out of my 3 to try to finish this weekend, and I am actually going to work on this one next for 2 reasons. One, because I've already started it, and two, I think I struggled with transitioning from the last 2 novels that I read. I read Liquid and Parable of the Sower, and in between those 2 books, I should have read some poetry because I like to do like almost like a palate cleanser between novels with poetry usually, because it helps me kind of segue from like ruminating on the book, because I like to digest my books. So I've realized that sometimes when I'm digesting my books from something that I just finished, if I go straight into another novel, I will stop reading that novel quickly. Like, I won't read it fast, even if that novel is fantastic. And that's what happened with Parable of the Sower. Fantastic book. I loved every minute of reading it. However, I was struggling with transitioning from reading Liquid and then transitioning to that book. So after realizing that and connecting those 2 dots, I'm not going to do that again. I'm going to try my best to continue doing my little poetry palette cleanse that I like to do. So I share this for a couple of reasons. One, because obviously we're talking about these 3 books that I'm reading over the weekend anyway, and I got 2 out of my 3 to go. But I also wanted to share this because I've realized that a lot of people struggle with reading poetry, and I understand that. I'm a poet, so I think if I wasn't a poet, I'd understand how like hard it was in a different way. But I also understand it in the opposite side of being a poet, trying to convince readers that don't read poetry to read it more. And here is my theory. I think that poetry is so emotional that it makes it kind of difficult for some people to put themselves into that type of headspace where they have to almost like it's like an abstract way of thinking for poetry, right? And the reason for that is because poetry is such a vulnerable thing to share. It's all emotional based, right? Like every poet is an emotional person, and they are sharing their emotions and their views on the world And the way that they do it through their poetry is often by making it somewhat abstract. So that is why I think some people who love to read struggle with reading poetry, because it is a very abstract thing, and it is also a very emotional thing, and it is a very different, oh, there goes that poetry book. It's a very different mindset to read. Does that make sense? I'm hoping I'm throwing down what I'm trying to throw down. Let me pick that up. Anyway, that's a little rant tangent that I will share another time as well. But I just wanted to talk about that. So if you struggle with reading poetry, and you happen to be catching this in a little snippet of a video, I highly recommend picking up poetry books and kind of stacking them in between your novels. So that way it's almost like I said, like a palate cleanser. Like, so when you go shopping for perfume and they have the little coffee beans, or if you go to a dispensary, you know what I'm saying? They have coffee beans. So that way when you smell what you're smelling and then you go to smell the next scent, the coffee bean is to refresh, right? It's like a palate cleanser. So anyway, look at poetry like like beans, like coffee beans, and as a little refresher. So that way, when you move on to the next thing, the flavors don't mix together. Does that make sense? I think that makes sense to me. But tell me if that checks for you. Okay, so I finished the second book in my readathon officially. However, I did fail my readathon because it is Wednesday morning, and my readathon was supposed to be from Friday to Monday. So not only did I not finish all the books in my readathon, but I didn't finish on time. That's okay. But I will say I really like this poetry book 100%. I'm excited to read the other one that she's written, which I think is called When My Brother Was an Aztec. That's actually what I was looking to check out from my local library when I picked this one up. And I believe it's either checked out or not available at my library. I might have to buy it. So, oh, I'm okay with it. But yeah, this was really good. Though my readathon is over, that's okay. I'm still going to finish this as my next book. All right, so before I go, I'm going to just ask a couple questions to myself out loud and answer them. Number one, will I do a readathon again? Yes, 100%. Will I film it? Maybe. I'm not 100% sure. This wasn't the easiest video for me to film, and editing is not my strong suit. Three, last question. Did I have fun? Yes, I had total fun. I forced myself to read a lot more than usual. Tried to make myself tune out all the things that are stressing me out right now. I have so much work on my plate, and I'm just not. You know the saying from The Shining. Thank you, Stephen King. All work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. Well, kind of works the same way with me. So, and most humans, if you keep just working all the time and you're not having fun, you're gonna be kind of dull, and you're gonna feel pretty dull. And that's kind of where I've been. I've been feeling really dull. So this definitely made me feel like I sharpened my blade a little bit. So yeah. So yes, maybe, yes. All right. Bye.